It's going to take some time. So make sure you keep all of your paperwork. If you have any money that's being held in an escrow account or with your mortgage company for your real estate taxes or for your homeowner's insurance, you forfeit that money during the short sale. It goes to help pay off the balance on your mortgage. Last thing was deed in lieu of foreclosure. A lot of people hear that word and they're like, well, maybe I should just do a deed in lieu of foreclosure. What is that? Basically, deed in lieu of foreclosure is instead of doing a short sale, instead of doing the foreclosure, you actually just give the deed to your property to the bank. And you walk away from the house and say, okay, here you go, I'm going to sign the deed, the house is now yours. But the thing you need to watch out for is, are they going to release you from the deficiency? You're doing them a favor. By giving them that deed and not contesting anything and not trying to sell the house, you're doing them a favor. So you want to make sure that you're not going to be on the hook for the rest of the money that you owe. Second is, you want to make sure that deed in lieu is not reported as a foreclosure. I've heard some people say that the bank's going to report it as a foreclosure. What's the point then? Because if it's going to be reported as a foreclosure, why should you give them a deed to your property? You're doing them a favor. That's kind of all I have. I was trying to keep it pretty simple. So if you guys have any questions.
You mentioned 1099. That implies that this can be taxable income to you for whatever is on that 1099.
Correct.
Is that correct?
If it is your primary residence that you're selling, the 1099 you should be exempt from it. There's the Mortgage Relief Act that says that if you're issued a 1099 in connection with a foreclosure, that you don't have to pay taxes on it. If it's an investment property, then yes, you might have to pay taxes on it. I'm not an accountant, so I always tell people, if you want more information on that or this has happened to you, make sure you consult an accountant.
Okay, how about the short sale? If you get a 1099 on a short sale.
You still should be okay, as long as it's your primary residence.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
More questions?
Where is it that the attorney comes to the fore? Do you represent the client to talk to the bank, to talk to creditors, etc.? What is your proper role?
Everybody's a little bit different. I've helped out clients where the creditors are hounding them and they're like, I can't take this anymore, can you please call these creditors and get them off my back? And some of the banks are good and they'll be like, oh, you have an attorney? Okay, I'll call her instead. And they'll start calling me and routing their questions and concerns to me instead. In terms of the short sale, usually I don't get involved until you actually have an offer on your house. Because a lot of the banks, they don't want to see your short sale package until you have somebody who's interested in buying your house. Now, that might change in the future. There are some programs out there that are saying that if you've applied for a loan modification and you've been either rejected or can no longer sustain the terms of the loan modification, you can roll your loan modification into a short sale. And they'll start immediately working on your short sale even without an offer. So if you qualify for a program like that, that's probably when I become a little more actively involved. But I don't think, it's not supposed to happen until April, and I don't think everybody's going to qualify for it. It's going to be a very limited group of people. So usually I don't become involved until you actually have an offer on your house. But you're free to call me with questions and emails and whatnot, and I'll help you out and give you advice and direction on what you need to do prior to that point.
Does it make a difference if someone took a job out of the state of Illinois? For example, is living in Wisconsin, that's his residence now, but he still owns this house that he can't make payments on, etc.
It happens a lot. You just need to explain, you need to be detailed in your hardship letter that says that my hardship is, I lost my job here, or I was forced, or I had to take a job out of state, or even, 5 hours from where you live. I mean, you can't sustain a rental or a new house and your mortgage. Not that many people can right now in today's economy. That's definitely a hardship. Yes.
Okay, but the law still pertains to your home that's in the state of Illinois because that's where your mortgage is.
Correct.
Where your residence is.
Correct.
Or considered resident because that's what you got your mortgage on.
Correct.
In Illinois, even though you're living in Wisconsin or Iowa,
it
makes no difference. Okay.
Other questions? Don't be shy. Well, if something pops up and you guys have other questions, I'll be around for a little bit, and you've got my business cards are back there with my email and my phone number. I'm pretty much on the internet, checking my email almost 24/7, so it's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
First of all, the short sale is not so simple as it looks.
It's not.
Especially right now, the banks takes average 4 to 5 months to get the deal through. But if I hear that land that is better for another, actually I can kiss the deal goodbye.
Yeah.
Those people are absolutely useless. They don't want help. sale, they don't want to agree for short sale. And usually I had the situation I lost 3 deals just because appraiser came with an unrealistic price for the property. And of course the offer was below asking price, the bank asked the price, and I couldn't convince Bank of America that appraiser had no idea where he was, what he was doing, and he was totally wrong. They do not comprehend, how it's possible, and it was very simple. That was right in the middle of one of our neighborhood, that there is no street without 5, 6 short sale of foreclosed houses, and suddenly the house was appraised like a Buckingham Palace, no better. But those people sometimes do not understand. They don't have any guidelines, nothing. And we, probably the lady also, attorney, talk with them many times and try to convince them, guys, please, be realistic with the price, what you're looking for. Nobody will pay you. What happens is, house go to foreclosure, they get much less money than they should get, or they could get, but they don't care. Fact, they will pay them anyway for the different divisions. So this is how it goes. Who is going to pay for it? All of us.
One way to counteract what he's saying is that the banks are going to go out and do an appraisal on your house, and oftentimes they're good. They come in pretty much around where your purchase price is. But once in a while, you'll get a really bad appraisal where you have your house, the offer's for $100, and the appraisal comes in at like $160, $170, and you're just way off. And it could kill your deal. What I tell people to do, and I know a lot of you aren't realtors, but what I tell my realtors to do is go out and meet that appraiser at your house. Make sure you're there. Give them a copy of the contract. Give them a copy of the comps from the neighborhood. Be as aggressive as you can. A lot of these people coming in and appraising the house are from Chicago, and they have no idea what the economy and the market is like out here. So you do need to be aware of that. I've had a few with lenders where it's come in high, and I've counteracted it by giving them another, there's something called a BPO, which is a broker's price opinion. And that's when a realtor basically goes out to your house and kind of does an analysis on your house and tells you how much it's worth. And I've countered a few bad appraisals by giving them BPOs, by giving them comps from my realtor. One time I actually ordered an appraisal on my own and paid for it and submitted the actual certified appraisal, and we got it countered. We got the the appraisal changed. So, there are some things you can do to try to counter that when it happens to you, but it does happen, so it's bad.
If I'm listing property and I do BPO on my own, bank doesn't want to look at it.
Right.
Because I'm part of the transaction.
Yeah, and a lot of times these appraisals are only good for about 60 days. So if that happens to you, don't get disheartened. What you can do is, either tell your buyer, hey, hang on there for another 2 months if you're still interested in the house, and we'll resubmit the offer then, and the bank will go out and do another appraisal on your house. So it's not the end of the world if it happens to you. It's happened on a few of my files, and I've said, you know what, just wait it out, and we'll submit a new offer in a couple of months, and then the bank goes out and does another appraisal, and we're fine. So, other than Bank of America too, what he mentioned, a lot of people have loans with Bank of America. It used to be Countrywide, and now it's Bank of America. And there's a lot of gripes about doing short sales with Bank of America because they take such a long time. They've actually gotten a lot better. They have this online system called Equator, and this might be kind of a little over some people's heads, but it's basically where instead of faxing your package in, you submit everything online on the internet, and it speeds up the process dramatically. I have one that's going, and it only took like 45 days to get it approved. So they are working on their system and trying to make it better. So don't freak out if you hear the word Bank of America. A lot of people will tell you, oh, don't do it, and they're getting better.
We have no choice, we have to do.
Yeah, they hold so many loans. I probably have like 40 active short sales with Bank of America. So you have to deal with them. You got to find one way or another.
Longest time it was 1 year. They are filing for short sale to the register of the document for closing is 1 year production. But it was okay 1 year ago.
What are some basic steps once you lose your job? Should you first contact the mortgage company right away? Do you wait until you can't make payments? Do you contact them on your own first, then get an attorney involved, then try to do short
Probably
sale?
like how